Our actions are more powerful than just idly thinking or even speaking. Everything's just thought. So our words are our thoughts spoken, our actions are our thoughts animated.
Welcome to Living in the Miracle Zone, the place to be if you want to live in the flow of synchronicities and miracles in your daily life. I'm your host, Marci Shimoff, and I'm a #1 New York Times bestselling author, teacher in The Secret, and creator of the worldwide program, Your Year of Miracles. And I've spent my life studying happiness and miracles. And in this podcast, we're bringing to you extraordinary miracle stories that are inspiring and groundbreaking miracle tools that will show you how to live your most miraculous life. It is really my heartfelt intention that we have a fabulous time together. So welcome to the Miracle Zone. And in this episode, we get to talk with the brilliant and amazing Mike Dooley. Mike talks about how he overcame the corporate thinking of stress and of micromanagement, and how he reinvented his life at age 40, finding his new career and ultimately his wife and his beautiful daughter. And he shares what area of life you can look at to change and how to do that. And he also talks about 3 steps to dealing with limiting beliefs. And Mike Dooley is a New York Times bestselling author. He is a metaphysical teacher. He's the creator of the wildly popular Notes from the Universe. He's written a number of books, including Infinite Possibilities, The Art of Living Your Dreams. He was one of the teachers in The Secret with me. He is the founder of Tut's Philosophical Adventures Club. He's got more than 1 million online members. And I consider Mike a very dear friend. We've gotten to do a lot of work and travel together. And I will tell you, Mike lives what he teaches. So welcome to this episode. And I am so thrilled to get to be here today with my very, very dear old buddy. And we haven't gotten to talk to each other in a long time. Mike, thank you so much for being here with me.
Marci, I'm always available to you and your audience. We go way back with the fondest of memories. Trotting around South America.
We do. Actually, we should let people know because we were both in The Secret together, we got to do a lot of travels where we were speaking in various countries in South America and actually in other parts of the world as well, about the law of attraction. And that's how I got to know you. And Mike, I think you are an amazing human being on this planet. I adore you. It was one of the greatest things that came out of The Secret for me, was getting to have our friendship. So
likewise. And it was just Marci and I with a speaker bureau. So we would meet in Bogota or in Caracas or in Santiago, Chile, every month. It was really, really.
And what I will say, Mike, is I don't want to take full credit for it, but at the time you were single, you didn't have any real interest in getting married or having children or any of that. And I was encouraging you, oh no, Mike, you really do want a family. And it wasn't soon after that you ended up meeting your beloved and beautiful wife, Marisol, and you have this fabulous 9-year-old daughter, Rebecca. And yeah,
it's a fairy tale. It's really a fairy tale. I feel like my life is, and it's what awaits every single one of us. We're of the divine, by the divine, for the divine. Thanks for helping me see the light when I was maybe in too dense a space, but you were right. And a late blooming first-time husband, late blooming first-time dad, and man, it's made everything so much more rich.
No, it's been beautiful to witness. So, Mike, I know the backstory. I know that you weren't always living a miraculous life. And you certainly are living a miraculous life today. And so maybe you could tell us a little bit about what it was like before and what really turned your life around.
Oh my gosh. Besides you, way before, very conventional background, public accounting. I think something I had in my corner was a cool mom. I've had cool ladies in my life all my life. I'm so blessed to the women of my life. But one of my mom's gifts to me was this idea that, all things are possible. Dream, they do come true. And so I took my very conventional life as a certified public accountant working for PricewaterhouseCoopers, and dreamed really big to the point where those walls couldn't confine me anymore. I thought somebody would hire me away. Nobody did, so I just had to leap. And I became an entrepreneur, and it was scary and harrowing, but I had visions. I would do creative visualization, teamed up with my mother, brother, and the three of us launched Tut, today's Tut.com. In the beginning, it was a T-shirt company through which I would write, like picture in your mind all that you may be, and with little sing-songy poems about the law of attraction, believe it or not, my brother's art, my mother's, willpower. And for 10 years, we sold, boatloads, truckloads, plane loads of Tut T-shirts. And then again, my life went through this metamorphosis at, by that time, age 40. So at age 30, I went from public accounting to selling T-shirts, which turned into a really great thing. The trends declined, and we bought mom out. Andy and I weren't getting along. It was no fun anymore. And at 40, I was like, what happened? I'm starting over. I don't even know what I'm starting. My girlfriend at the time turned out she had a boyfriend that wasn't me, and it wasn't pretty. Everything was in ruins at age 40 for me. Plus, being 40 was a heavy load for me at the time. Now, it's 40. I mean, give me a break. But at the time, it was that was my dark night of the soul. And I remember thinking, Marci, I don't know how I created this. I have no idea what brought me here. But I know how to move forward. I know my thoughts become things. I know I am a spark of the divine. I am here being pushed on to greatness. So I remember thinking, don't try to figure it out, because you will just hate yourself that much more. You will find out all the mistakes you ever made. You will see what your blind spots are in your self-sabotaging beliefs, and you're just going to go down. So I just said, forget it. You know how the game works. Start working it like you never worked it before. And so vision boards went back up, affirmations. I started sending emails from Mike, which were, not that popular. They were motivational, inspirational, but that led to notes from the universe, which now I send to 1.2 million people every day. It's been 20 years. But, in the beginning, it was slim picking, although it was my bliss. Then I was really doing what I wanted to do, although at the time it was not clear what I was doing. I was like, maybe I should write. Maybe I should dabble with the internet, this new thing called email. Maybe I should be a speaker. And I knew I was passionate about the content, the nature of reality, who we are, how we can create transformation. But I didn't know how to do it, so I dabbled with everything. And that's the secret. That's the formula. End results in your mind, wealth, friends, fulfillment, joy, and then dabble. And 22 years later, fairy tale. Well, and it didn't take 22 years to get to a fairy tale, but so very conventional, then hard knocks, but always sticking to thoughts become things. So choose.
And Mike, this is such a great story because you had possibilities in your corner from your mother. That was what really fueled it. And you had persistence in your corner, and you had dabbling in your corner, and you had just a willingness to, even in the dark night of the soul, you created it once in your 30s, and then you're having to face it again in your 40s. And you stuck with it, and you applied the principles, and you dabbled in it, and truly fairy tale. I mean, I know Mike's life. I have to say, I know your life, and it is magic. And everybody feels it when we're around you. I can't help it. I always want to be around you, Mike. It's just fun because you're living in the space of what really is the miracle zone. So out of all the things that you dabbled in, Mike, what do you think are a few of the most important things that everybody can do to live their life more in the miracle zone, that place where you're in that flow, where, life is just working?
The thing that I've seen in hindsight for me, when I was 3 years ago, literally at the turn of the millennia, which whatever that means, I'm not into numerology, but it was the year 2000, and I was like hanging on by a thread. We had just liquidated the t-shirt business. We didn't owe anybody any money. I had a little bit of a savings. I could coast for almost 2 years. I calculated with my accountant's brain, but I was so over micromanaging my life, because old school good souls tell us, it's the early bird that gets the worm, and opportunity only knocks once, and you better do it for yourself because no one's going to do it for you. And you carry the weight of the world on your shoulders, and it leads us to become a micromanager and quite stressed out, like being everywhere always. And what if you make the wrong turn and got to get it right, and you only get one chance? It's like, I had so micromanaged my life with success, but yet at 40, starting over again, that I remember accidentally, and I admit now, and I can do it. I can tell the story with a smile on my face. There was a time I would never admit that as I was turning 40, going through this dark night of the soul, given my Catholic upbringing, I'm not of a religion today, nor have I been in my adult life, except for when I was 40 years old. I would pray on my knees at the side of my bed before I would go to sleep each night. Just like, I have no idea how I created this. I accepted responsibility. That's so important. But I had no idea how I created this God. And it's God when I'm scared. It's the universe when I'm happy. Like, dear God, help me. I said, but I know what I want. I want wealth and abundance because I don't want to lose my home, friends and laughter, creative, fulfilling work, and I'd like to be doing some more international travel. Those were the 4 things. I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to get there. You figure it out. Because I had done corporate America, and it really worked. I had done the entrepreneurial thing, was ahead financially by a couple of years, but it was like, I'm missing something. And because I didn't want to cling to this or insist on that or demand something else, I was just like, these are the 4 things I want. These were my high priorities. Relationships wasn't, family wasn't at the time, but those were my 4 things, and punctuated the prayers every night with, you figure it out, because I clearly can't. And that is like the one thing that I have taught more than anything else in my playing the Matrix and getting what you really want. 3 world tours, 150 cities live, not virtual. Many of those cities multiple times, from Moscow to Cape Town to Kuala Lumpur to Bogota and beyond. I teach. This is what I stumbled into. This is the point of all that. It is wisest to state your priorities in broad brush strokes. So anybody watching right now, what area of your life would you most like to see transformation in? And you can pick more than one. You can pick them all. Or you could go to that ultimate end result, joy, happiness, which implies you've got health, implies you got money, implies you got something to do creatively. Happiness is the ultimate end result. But hey, we like to tinker. So if you want to step it down to abundance, relationships, family, fulfillment, health, recovery, those are broad brush enough that if you want transformation in any of those categories, including financial wealth, the universe is like, I got it. I know 7,416 ways to steep you in whatever you want. Just now get out of my way. You've told me what direction to go in. Get out of my way. So have general end results Now, general is boring, perhaps. It's brushing up against okay, abundance. So dress up abundance, dress up the general area, health, with details to visualize, flying first class, sleeper seat, business class, to meet with Marci again. We're going to rock 5,000 people in a huge indoor arena. Visualize the details. Don't attach to the details. Visualize the details to create that emotional juice, you're just salivating. Yes. And then attach to the end result, the general broad brush. So I'm insisting on abundance. I'll settle for nothing less. I'm insisting on recovery. My body knows how to heal itself, nothing less. Visualize the details, but let the details go because you don't want to micromanage. And then step 3. Okay, so step 1 is, what area do you want to transform? Areas. Step 2, visualize the details of what the transformation might look like. It'll look like your details or way better. The universe is the detail queen, okay? You can just fumble around, but don't limit the universe by picking details. Number 3, dabble, show up, take action, knock on doors, turn over stones, ask for help, dabble again. Try many different paths. Obviously, the ones that resonate the most with you. But again, insist on none. I never insisted, I'm going to be a speaker, I'm going to be a writer. I'm like, look, I'm going to be abundant. I'm going to be international. I'm going to be creatively challenged in a great way. And the universe was like, you're going to be a writer speaker because I know you and these qualities match your dream. And it puts the thread through the needle. And who travels more than a speaker, right? Where you want to go, when you want to go. Abundance, books, my passion, metaphysics. It's like the universe did all of that. I fueled it with visualization, and I became available by
and so this is a brilliant formula, Mike. I love the formula. I love that the universe is the queen. I love the idea of high intention. Be clear about how you want to feel and low attachment. But there's the trick. There's the rub. It's hard for people to trust that the universe can do a better job than we can. So where do you get that ability to trust in the universe, to be able to let go of the outcome and to let go of all of the hows? How does that happen? So how do you let go and trust that the universe has got this?
That's so good, because the approach I've spelled out, which is, is not unique to me, generally the law of attraction, many people are teaching, it's diametrically opposed to old school wisdom of be the early bird, make it happen, attach, insist, have your dates and your goals and settle for nothing less. Settle for nothing less when it comes to generality. That's what I teach, but not for all the minutia. So we have to extract ourselves from that old thinking. And we do it by being gentle and by being patient and reminding ourselves when we're stressing out over a deadline. It's like, if it's not this one, it's better. Every no is the opportunity for better than you even knew to ask before. And so it's just a kind of a gradual realignment of your methodology, which is not that crazy. You're still going to have a vision board, you're still going to knock on doors, you can still have dates on goals, but you're not going to do or die. You're going to have some flexibility. You're going to enjoy the journey. A lot of old school wisdom does indeed reflect, the power of positive thinking, the law of attraction. So it's not like we have to learn everything all over again. But when it comes to instilling faith, sometimes just a little quiet and a marveling of who you already are, how far you've already come, alive on a planet, whizzing through outer space in the darkness. It's all impossible that we're even here. It's so spectacular, life on planet Earth. The beauty, the colors, the lights, the people. People are so awesome. They mean so well. My mother would sometimes say, well, people are doing their best. She would say, it's a pretty good fest when she was angry at somebody. But really, everyone is doing the best they can. Everyone's a little bit scared. And it's such a privilege to be here. You don't have to ask for your days. They're just given to you. Like the prophet Khalil Gibran, the apple tree in the orchard doesn't decide who gets the fruit, who's deserving enough. It's like we've been given our days. So start looking at the miracles you've already performed, the miracles that abound everywhere, the miracles that have happened for other people who are no more divine than you, and you start building this muscle. And conventionally, to bide the time, take action, show up, be busy, dance life's dance. Work shouldn't be a four-letter word. Think of the office parties and the free pens and all that stuff. It's like you get to find out what you're good at. You get to find out what you could be better at. And you bide your time enjoying the journey, and trust becomes automatic.
What I've seen, what I've experienced is so much everything that you're saying. I'm just loving, and you're so inspiring. And what I know is that you walk this talk. This is how you live. You live. When I was traveling with you, it was always fun. It was in the energy of flow. And I think that you're so right that we've learned the societal way has been through the energy of effort, painful effort. And no pain, no gain, exactly. And this is the opposite of that. This is like, I've spoken about an experiment in ease. Let's do an experiment in joy and ease and in flow. And I've seen the same thing, that's where the miracle zone comes from, is the joy and the flow. And so how do you deal with the fact that the old belief systems were, oh no, I have to work hard. I have to be in pain. It's about instilling new belief systems. And how did you I know one of the things you do is you surround yourself with people that are also in that same vibe, same place you are. Talk a little about that.
Well, I've long known, as probably most of your audience has long known, the power of beliefs. And because I'm the thoughts become things guy, audience members in the beginning and to this day will be like, well, I know your thoughts are important. Thoughts are mighty. They have energy, but aren't your beliefs more powerful? And so here's how I dice and slice this one. Our beliefs are almighty, because they inspire us and encourage us to think along certain lines, and those thoughts will become the things and events of our lives, or our beliefs will shut us down and deny us from entertaining these flights of whimsical fantasy. So it is because our thoughts become things that our beliefs are almighty. And this tips us off that we can start eroding invisible limiting beliefs, and they're usually invisible, but there's a trick here I'll share with you. Eroding them by working with our thoughts and our words and our behavior up front that implies we believe otherwise. So this is what I share with audiences. Instead of looking for, number one, what's supposedly wrong with you, because chances are it's not what you think, and it's a much smaller deal, and it's temporary anyway, but we're like, oh, this is it, and now I need a team of people to undo it. And it's like, oh, we're not going to look for what's wrong with you, and we're not going to look for your invisible limiting beliefs, because they're invisible, really. You end up running the risk of making stuff up. Like, well, I must not believe I'm worthy because my parents don't think they're worthy. And that must be it. Well, maybe you believed you were worthy and you just needed a few more months to reach the tipping point. But now that you're claiming you're not worthy because your parents, you've muddied it up. Claim nothing like that. Nothing derogatory or negative against you. This is the drill. Enumerate on a computer or longhand with pen and paper all the beliefs you'd love to say are yours. Are they yours? We don't know. We're not going to go there. What would you love to believe about money? That you're a magnet for it, that it loves you, that you love it, that it grows on trees, that it's just thoughts become things, that there's more than enough for everyone because we live in a holographic universe. Just make a list of 20, 30, 40 bullet points of beliefs. What beliefs do you think Warren Buffett has about money? Go, whatever it is you want, health, love, relationships, career, creativity. What would somebody who's already well-known and accomplished in that area, what would their beliefs maybe be? Now you're not saying what are mine or what should be mine or what. You're just like, what are rocking beliefs? That's step one. Step two, you keep that list on you, near you. You study it when you wake up in the morning. You look at it before you go to bed at night, and you see the validity of each one of those points. You're a divine being of light. You're pushed on to greatness. You're inclined to succeed. Your positive thoughts are 10,000 times more powerful than your negative thoughts financially, romantically, and health-wise. You're just set up for greatness. That's why you're here. See the validity of all of these things related to where you want transformation. Same kind of a starting point that you'd be visualizing, but now we're working with our beliefs. So what would all those beliefs be? Study them, see the validity of them. Like, of course I'm worthy. Of course I'm divine. Of course I'm powerful. Of course I can create miracles. See it by seeing it every single day. And then step three, the only other step, just incrementally, to the degree that you can, never spend money you don't, act like these are your beliefs. Act like you're worthy. Maybe indulge in a new magazine subscription if you got the money. Don't stretch or risk the roof over your house. Act like you've got friends in the world and start calling them. Act like you have confidence that was elusive before. Act like you're healthier than you've ever been. Now you're going to, price out the new tracksuit, bathing suit, whatever suit you want at Macy's online, as if you were that person moving to. Don't spend the money, just put it in your cart, create a profile. But if you can do it every day, at least a couple times a week. I used to make a list of my acts of faith, my demonstrations, way in advance of doing them. And so a couple times a week, I would look at my list. What am I going to do today? I'm going to give $5 to a charity. That's a demonstration that says the money's coming in now. It's going to be all right. I am provided for. That's a demonstration of. Or I'm going to go to the boat store, not the store that sells boats, but the store that sells stuff to people who own boats. I don't have a boat. I want a boat. But if I go shopping at a store that only boat owners, what does that say about me? I'm sure people are checking me out. I wonder what kind of boat he has. I'd be checking other people out. I wonder what kind of boat they have. They only knew I didn't have a boat. Well, I want to buy a beer coolie or a floating keychain. But I would act like I was that person. Our actions are our thoughts in motion. Our actions are more powerful than just idly thinking or even speaking. Everything's just thought. So our words are our thoughts spoken. Our actions are our thoughts animated. But when your inner witness, your observer, sees you acting in new ways, you will erode and replace any invisible limiting beliefs you might have had without ever having to claim them. So there's no risk here. But if you had them, they make no more sense now given your new behavior. And everything begins to snowball. Plus the visualizing, plus the affirmations.
Mike, this is a master class in manifesting. You are so, you're so enthusiastic. You're so clear. And I love that the CPA comes out in the steps. You got 3 things here. You got 3 ways to deal with the beliefs. I'd love to know what's one belief that you have that you love leaning into these days that's helping you live the most miraculous life. Because if Mike has it, we can all have it. It's one of your favorite.
Well, I think one that kind of slices through everything. I am of God, by God, for God. Because there is only the divine. Everything is the divine. A mote of dust, the farthest reaches of the universe, all matter. So I am of the divine, by the divine, for the divine. So if my buttons are being pressed over here, and I'm feeling, I don't know, inadequate, vulnerable, or, all those things. Or if I'm being like, oh man, that would be another level I could go to, and you have those human, you second guess yourself. It's like, I am of the divine, by the divine, for the divine. This is like, well, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That feels so good. I am of the divine, by the divine, and for the divine. Excellent. That's going to be my mantra of the day. It is true. It is so true. Mike, this has been so inspiring and clear and uplifting, and I love getting to be with you. And people are wanting to know, how can they spend more time with you? You travel all over the world, taking people on these adventure trips, and they can get the notes from the universe, join the over 1 million people that are currently getting notes from the universe. And they do this by going to www.tut.com. Is that right?
Yeah, come to tut.com, get your free notes from the universe, and you'll find out all else we do. We're about to announce Tahiti in the spring and Kenya, Masai Mara, in the fall. But we do lots of stuff for free and lots of online adventures virtually. So, if anybody would like to find out more, tut.com, get the notes from the universe.
And you are a true incredible example of living life in the miracle zone, and you and Marisol and Rebecca, and I loved getting to be with you. And I love this, and I want to thank everybody today for listening. I hope that you're feeling inspired and uplifted and more in the miracle zone after our time together today. How could you not? And if you enjoyed this episode, we so appreciate your 5-star ratings and your reviews, and share the Miracle Zone love with your friends and family. And if you're ready to live more in the Miracle Zone, you can start by taking our free 2-minute quiz. To find out what your miracle superpower is, just go to miraclequiz.com. And remember that your life of miracles is waiting for you. It is your birthright. And simply by listening to this podcast, you are taking a step forward into the Miracle Zone. Enjoy.